And hopefully that's us on air for this. Where are we? It's a Thursday evening. Very good evening from myself, Stephen Kirker, with the daily. Sorry, I just had the daily wrap here. It's been a fantastic day of international cricket, actually. Dominated by bowlers. We'll be looking at the two big test matches taking place at the moment. There's the small matter of, oh, hang on, wait a second. I just realized I've got to put these things on. Thank you very much. That's better. The small matter of the Copa del Rey, Barcelona hosting Real Madrid. Rugby news, we hear from the Bulls skipper Ruan ahead of that derby clash with the Lions at Loftus. He reckons not taking the Lions lightly at all. Lions bouncing back with that great victory. Also some news in from Formula One. And the Stormers set to play their home games on some sort of hybrid pitch, all coming up here in the Daily Wrap. So, fantastic day of cricket, as I say. And it was Kagiso Rabada who came to the party in the first test match between South Africa and the West Indies out at Supersport Park. He's the man who took all the wickets. It was looking very shaky for the Proteas. They didn't last very long this morning after resuming overnight. They were bowled out in the second innings for just 116. Aiden Markram had resumed not out overnight, and with him was Heinrich Klaassen. Klaassen falling to a very bad shot and caught off Holder. But Kemmer Roach, the man who did the damage for the tourists, picking up 5 for 47 there. Alzarri Joseph and Jason Holder, 2 wickets apiece. Jason Holder is quite one of the most incredible cricketers. He, never seems to bowl with particularly venomous pace, but he's got that amazing ability to dry up the run rates. And as you see, he does take wickets too. I think this is a good pitch for him, actually, with his height and the way the pitch was playing. Suited him to a T, but Kemmer Roach, the man doing the damage there. So that left the West Indies, not needing a massive target. And Jermaine Blackwood did all he could to get his side across the line. But Rabada was in awesome form. It was Heinrich Nokia who did all the damage in the first innings. But KG, some people, he's an interesting character, and bowler is KG. He does seem to sort of blow a bit hot and cold sometimes, but blowing hot today, picking up 6 for 50, and including the final wicket there, ably supported by Heinrich Nokia, who took 1 for 48, Marky Jansen 2 for 33, Gerald Coetzee 1 for 20. So the spin of Sundaram Muthusamy not needed. And you see there in the first innings, he bowled without getting any wickets, but he did only bowl 8 overs. He was selected ahead of Kesh Maharaj. I think the argument was that he could bat a little bit better than Kesh, but Kesh's been giving us some pretty useful runs. So I know there's going to be questions asked about that. You might want to actually get your comments into us. I've hopefully got access to them today. Let's see if that's working. Let's see. But at least I will try and have a look at those messages a little bit later. Your comments on the makeup of the side, I think, going forward into the second test match. There was a welcome return to form for Aiden Markram. The skipper, well, according to the statistician working on Cricinfo, he, as captain, is the 3 deliveries he faced for his pair in this test match is the least number of deliveries that an international captain has faced for a pair. A bit of unwanted history for Temba Bavuma, the skipper, but he'll take the victory, that's for sure. Unconvincing, I would say, the performance by the Proteas. Very good in that first innings, but less so in the second innings. Maybe the pitch was getting a bit dicier. I think in hindsight, I know Themba Bavuma was saying that at the outset he wouldn't have minded losing the toss and having to bowl first. But would the match have turned out differently had that been the case? I don't know. I don't know if we can say for sure if that would have been the case. More cricket on the go at the moment, and it's an exciting match between India and Australia. 76 runs. That's all Australia needs to make in their second innings to win the third Test match against India indoor. Plus, they've all 10 second innings wickets in hand to get the job done on day 3 tomorrow. But it's going to be far from straightforward. Nathan Lyon was the hero today for the tourists, picking up 8 for 64. And to bowl India out for 163 in their innings. Cheteshwar Pujara top scoring there, 59. Interestingly, trying to play a more positive game in this Test match, and more broadly speaking, it's one of the criticisms of Pujara has that he's never the player to sort of push the game forward, but playing a good knock today. But 163 all out was India, and that was after they'd done well to restrict Australia to 197. No, I lie. I'm looking at completely the wrong scorecard now. India 163. In reply to Australia's 197. I'm getting myself confused. Australia had resumed in an excellent position on 156 for 4. They were moving along steadily until Peter Handscomb was caught off Ravichandran Ashwin with a score on 186. Then it was Calypso all out for 197 to leave them with not much of a lead. But India batting then second went to 163 to leave Australia chasing that small target. Yeah, so in the Australian innings, Ashwin ending with 3 wickets, Jadeja 4, and 3 wickets for Umesh Yadav, the paceman. You see Burley not even bowling at first change, but at second change. The Australians did go with Mitchell Starc to open the batting, but from the other end, only spin bowling, and Nathan Lyon basically bowled uninterrupted. So a big performance from him. Not the biggest turner of the ball. He's been criticised for that, but certainly the way he is playing the game and the contributions he has, you can't really argue with him being picked in the side, can you? Well, I reckon. Now, the Proteas women, they can win the ICC Women's T20 World Cup. That's according to Coach Hilton Marine. We were hoping to bring this to you yesterday, actually, that press conference where they were speaking at the conclusion of the tournament, but they only sent it out this today. And I had actually gone onto the Zoom, but I thought, well, I know I'm going to get a better recording from Cricket South Africa, so I'll just use that. So I deleted my recording. Anyway, tough. Anyway, Hilton Marine, he was coaching. He says he's going to be thinking about whether he, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? I know what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, he said he still hasn't decided about his future, and in fact whether he will reapply, and if he does reapply for the position of coach, whether it'll be him guiding them for a while. He did say he's going to take some time off to think about that. He's been in the position for 9 years since the side turned professional, and you have to say, I think the consistent coaching has probably been a good thing for the SA women. They have reached a major ICC tournament final in their 9th year of professionalism with the same coach in charge. But maybe it is time to sort of accelerate to the next stage. But yeah, as for Marine, he reckons this side can do it. It would help if I'm sorry, it would help if you actually press the right button.
It's very realistic, especially when you see the the core of the team is still very young, and the experience that everyone had now in the past World Cup, they can only grow and learn from that, I think, and get better. And even the youngsters watching once in the under-19s and who are hoping to make the transition into the senior team, they've seen what the standard is. So in the next 2 years, yes, it's very realistic, and we have a very capable squad of winning a World Cup.
There, from the horse's mouth, Proteas very capable of winning the World Cup. Sunay Lewis was also at that press conference. She's pretty refreshing in the way she puts things together, I must say. And she was given the captaincy after Danae van Niekerk was ruled out of the tournament by the fact that she failed the Cricket South Africa's fitness requirements to make the team. It remains to be seen whether Danae van Niekerk can meet those fitness targets, because she ran her best ever time, I think it was for the 2 kilometers, but was, I think, 18 seconds outside that. Is she going to be motivated to put in all that hard work, which can't be easy, and obviously it's not easy, but some people it is easier. So there were people like Danae van Niekerk, who wasn't in the team, Lizelle Lee, who was the first player, if I'm not mistaken, to basically, she announced her retirement when this requirement came in that you have to run the 2 kilometers in a certain time, and she obviously worked out she was never going to be able to do that. So she immediately announced her retirement and is making money playing international, in T20 leagues around the world, and doing very well. Also, Mignon du Preez, one of the predecessors, who was the captain, I think, from the very beginning in 2013. A long stint for her before Danae van Niekerk took over as captain. And Sunay Lewis spoke about the impact this tournament in South Africa has had on, promoting the game in the country, and also the legacy of not only people like du Preez and Lizelle Lee, but those who came before.
Yeah, obviously for us, I think the thought of inspiring a nation didn't just start 3 days ago. I think, as a young girl, when you start playing cricket, and when we start playing international cricket, from the moment you step onto the field, that's when you start inspiring a nation. And I think, after this World Cup, I think the media just gave us the platform to express that even more and to reach parts of the country that we couldn't reach before. So no, it was a massive honor for us to be a part of this World Cup and to have the success we've had, and obviously to inspire young girls around the world, and especially in our country, and young boys, is such an honor and privilege. And I'm hoping, for the rest of our cricketing careers, we take up the responsibility, and we just keep doing what we've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. Now, I don't know if you saw this. I thought this was really funny. What do I do with it? There we go. There we go. It's that one. But I wanted to. This is really funny. I picked this up off Twitter, off the official Proteas Twitter site. It was this picture that they posted, which actually Nortje Cup posted, right? That's Nortje Cup, the Proteas all-rounder on the right, and young Nortje standing next to her. Blast from the past. And Heinrich was just approached about that particular picture by the Cricket South Africa media team, and it was pretty amusing what he had to say.
Who posted? Did Cappy post this? I didn't think. I was thinking of posting it. Yeah, so I was under 11, I think. She was always an age group ahead of me in the indoor cricket. And yeah, I knew her quite well, always watched their games as well. And yeah, I don't know I don't know where and how we took this picture, but it was taken. And so she's actually, her sister's married to my cousin as well. So always keep track of how she's doing and stuff. And yeah, I saw one of my friends send this picture recently to me. I thought I'd post it, and I thought it's not, but oh well. There we go.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Interesting how everything sort of is connected together. It's a lovely story. I hope you enjoyed that. So now rugby. The Bulls captain Nortje doesn't expect an easy match when his side hosts the Lions at Loftus in the last round of URC matches before a 3-week break. Yeah. The Bulls come off a mini break. They haven't played since that 1923 at Loftus to the Stormers, while the Lions did put a week of off-field turmoil behind them to beat Glasgow Warriors at Ellis Park last weekend. That, of course, was a make-up game. There were only the 2 matches last weekend, the make-up games from when a couple of the touring sides came to South Africa, and then there was a problem and stuff. But Ruanakia reckons that they shouldn't take the Lions for granted.
We as players, we are at the union to play rugby. I think when we start to worry about what's going on outside that we're at the wrong place and thinking the wrong stuff. I think for us it's just important to focus on what we can control, and I think it's the same. If you look at the Stormers, they the great bunch of group bonding together, good culture, and then that's why they're putting in good performances, and then they are where they are. And same with the Lions. It's a lot of character at the Lions. Still also a young team. They are growing, and you can see they are getting better and better. And then for us it's never been easy playing against the Lions. We always know it's a tough game, and we're expecting nothing less this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon. Now, in the push for the playoffs, the Bulls are still in a position to make the top 4 at the end of the round robin stage. Well, in fact, I think we can actually go look at that. That log where it stands at the moment. Hold on a sec. Let's pull it up. Okay, let's get the table. Thank you very much. And come back here and switch on that. But no, it's not. It doesn't like it. Why is it not? Oh, there it is. There we go. Let's have a look at this. So look at that. That's the log at the moment. The Bulls are in 6th position, but depending on how results go, they could be into the top 4 after this weekend, and that would come with a home quarterfinal if they maintain that until the end of the round robin stage. The Sharks also in a position to sort of push for the top 4, but it depends how results go. Let's have a look. No, we don't want to go to the 17th of Feb. We want to go to this. So the derbies are going to be big. The Stormers against the Sharks, the Bulls against the Lions. Those are the fixtures for the South African sides. Warriors against Parma, Munster Scarlets, Edinburgh, Leinster, Ospreys, Benetton, Dragons, Connacht, and Cardiff against Ulster. Now, as far as that log position is concerned, it's not something that the Bulls are focusing on, says the skipper.
We as players, at this moment, we have to focus on this weekend's game. We don't want to think about any when we start to worry about.
Okay. Excuse me. Let's try that one at a time. Thank you very much.
I think at this moment we have to focus on this weekend's game. We don't want to think about any playoffs or where we want to finish or anything about that. We just want to go out this weekend and put in a good performance, to give a good performance to the fans, to the whole franchise, and to ourselves as players. I think obviously always want to finish as high as possible on the log, and playoffs always vital for us. But I think this week we've been just focusing on really getting stuck into this weekend and then thinking about nothing else.
One thing which has been great for the Bulls has been the level of the crowds. And I think they had 41,200 fans packed in the stands when the Stormers were in town. The Bulls captain says he's loving the uptick in attendance. He's actually sort of suggested that the support that the SA20 and the Women's T20 World Cup got may have something to do with that. It's not being kind to me, is it? Okay, I'm going to try that absolutely again. This is the one I need. Thank you.
It's awesome. It's awesome to be a part of it. It's awesome to run out in front of 40,000 people. So special. I can only thank the fans for coming out. I think at the end of the day, it's all the effort put in behind the scenes. I would say the effort from the marketing team, from everybody at the franchise, getting good entertainment. It's not always just Rugby that pulls the people in. It's all the different stuff going around the stadium and everything happening around the stadium. So I think it's all credit to the whole franchise as a whole, not just as for the players. Obviously, the last few months, our performance has not been that great. So we just hope to put in a good performance to let the people keep coming. And I also think sometimes, especially this SA20 cricket, I think it was so good for South Africa and for people to see how amazing it is to get big crowds to sporting events. So I don't know if that maybe also had an impact to see the joy it brings and how fun it is. So I think there's a lot of aspects that could be linked to it.
And this is something, we put it as our thumbnail, and it's quite a big thing for World Rugby to say, oh, hang on, we got it wrong. Yeah, so they've responded to criticism of the way they do the pool draws for the Rugby World Cups. They say they'll do the draws closer to the tournament kickoff. That should help avoid the situation we're in now ahead of the 23 World Cup in France. Only 2 out of the reigning champions, South Africa, the host France, New Zealand and Scotland, can reach the semi-finals. It'll mean a couple of the top 5 sides won't make the semis. Why did that happen? It seems bizarre in hindsight that they even thought that this was a good idea. The scenario came about because the draw was actually made in, I think, January of 2020. It was based on the rankings at the end of the previous World Cup. So, Ireland ended up not being ranked as one of the top sides. And such as it is, some of the form teams of the moment are going to miss out on making the playoffs. And some of the comments, say that numbers 1, Dave Davies, numbers 1, 2, and 3, and 4 in the world in the same half of the draw, and 2 of those to be eliminated in the quarterfinal, does seem a bit unfair. Perhaps change is needed. Well, yes, indeed, Dave. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen for 23. They said they'll do it for 27. Gangai says the fact the draw is done 2 to 3 years before the World Cup is done. Like, so much can change in 2 or 3 years, like how it's happened. It ends up being unfair for people that have grafted to climb up. Yep, that's right. Ireland climbed up, it says Ganga adds to that, basically in a pool of death. And he also adds that I don't think that that's a good idea, especially now since World Rugby is being sued. They need to show player safety as a priority. There you go. Anyway, that's some of the rugby. In other rugby, this is official now, is that the Stormers' home ground is now the Cape Town Stadium. They did, announce that officially yesterday. But the other news, no, I don't want to have that. Thank you very much. I want to have this one. There's the Cape Town Stadium for you. In the not too distant future, all games at the stadium will be on a pitch that's half synthetic and half grass. I don't know how this works, actually. Now, the turf you see there was originally laid for the 2010 FIFA World Cup. It doesn't stand up well to heavy scrumming, so the new hybrid pitch should be a big improvement. Less maintenance will be required and more matches will be able to be played on it. But I've been trying to dive in and like, how do you do half and half? Because most of the artificial pitch companies that I've seen online, they do something called a hybrid pitch. What they do is they take natural grass, fibers and stuff, and they turn them into an artificial pitch. But it's fully recyclable because it's plant material and this kind of thing. So a half and half, I'm not sure whether there's going to be different parts of the field. We'll have to interrogate that one a little bit more. In other rugby news is that this man, Rian Oberholzer, who's the Western Province Rugby Administrator, he's said to become the interim CEO of SA Rugby. He's confirmed that the South African Rugby President, Mark Alexander, approached him about the position. He's agreed to take it on, the role, but only in an interim capacity until a permanent appointment is made. However, the appointment, this temporary appointment, must still be ratified by SA Rugby's governing body. Oberholzer says he will continue running Western Province at the same time. Alexander's taken on the role of CEO since Jury Roux departed at the end of the year. It was after a court eventually ordered him to pay back that 37 million rand to Stellenbosch University, which he was found to have misappropriated. SA Rugby has also, by the way, hit back at the Western Province rugby clubs who are going to be protesting ahead of the Stormers game on Saturday. They're not happy with the role SA Rugby is playing in the administration of Western Province Rugby, and they want SA Rugby out because Western Province Rugby was in deep financial dwang, and they made a couple of poor decisions and alienated sponsors and the like, but things seem to be going better for them. But SA Rugby, in a release today, has hit back. They say that the clubs are erroneous, misleading, and needlessly distracting from the work that SA Rugby and Western Province Rugby are doing to turn Western Province Rugby around. Watch this space. I don't anticipate that this will change the attitude of those other clubs, but still, you never know. You never know. Now, let's look at some football now, and it's a big night in Spain for this man. That's Xavi, the former Spain and Barcelona playing legend, who's now in charge of the club and has done pretty well. He took over a side which suffered some seriously big defeats in Europe and the like, but is on a bit of shaky ground despite the fact that they are now 7 points clear at the top of La Liga. They've been dumped out of the Champions League, remember, from a pretty difficult group, and then lost to Manchester United in their sort of demotion game. So Manchester United moved on. So they're out of the Europa League as well. On track, yes, in the league, 7 points clear. It sounds pretty impressive, right? But unfortunately, they hit a bit of a rough patch. They were poor and beaten for only the second time in the league on Sunday. They went 1-0 down to Almere, who were languishing in the relegation zone. But those 3 points they claimed against the log leaders moved out of the relegation zone. Now, Barca's leading goal scorer, Robert Lewandowski, is injured. He also missed Sunday's defeat. He won't be playing tonight. Neither will Pedri or Ousmane Dembele, who are two of Barca's most influential attacking threats. The Barca defense has been significantly tightened up by Xavi since he took over. But if they cannot score a couple of goals tonight, the advantage will be with Real Madrid. You have to fancy that. And the man in the opposition camp is Carlo Ancelotti. Now, his side, he's been moving his resources around pretty well and getting maximum effort out of that, and very effectively. They have they may have been held to a 1-1 draw by Atletico in the Madrid derby on Saturday. I guess they can be forgiven for, perhaps having one eye on tonight's game. But before that, they'd scored 20 goals in their 5 previous matches. 20 goals in 5 matches. That's an average of 4 a game. So, yeah, it's going to be a case of, I guess, Madrid's attacking might against the defense of Barcelona. But I suppose you can't really see Barcelona coming back at the Nou Camp, or at least when they play Real Madrid away in the second leg, if they happen to go down in that one. So it's time to talk about golf. And I actually missed this one yesterday. I hadn't realized that it started yesterday. Is the Ladies European Tour is here in South Africa, and the tournament taking place at the moment is the Joburg Ladies Open. It's being played at the Modderfontein Golf Club, and as you can see there, leading in the second round is Denmark's Nicole Broch-Estrup, who shot a 66 today after shooting 72. She's 8 under par and is 2 strokes clear of a group of players. Linnea Johnson, Clara Davidson, Splitková of the Czech Republic, Lila May Humphreys, and Ursula Wickstrom is at 5 under par. Best placed South African is Nicole Garcia there at 4 under par. Steady stuff from her, 71 and 71, 2 rounds there. And Leanne Pace is at, 3 under par. And looking further down the field, we've got Nadia van der Westhuizen. Nobuhle Dlamini from across the border in Eswatini is there at 1 under par. Now, the leader, Nicole Broch-Estrup, spoke to the tour after her round today. Let's go find out what she had to say about her. There she is. There she is. About her round and the way things came right for her today after yesterday.
Yesterday I was 3 over on the par 5s, I think. So today I always am kind of focusing on the par 5s, but today I really wanted to take advantage of them. And yeah, the first one being a par 5 started out with a nice birdie, so that, I don't know, kicked it off. And yeah, the big difference from yesterday to today is the par 5s. Today I think I'm 4 under, and yesterday I was 3 over. So yeah, I'm getting away with a couple bad drives here and there, but in general, I'm feeling good. Knock on wood, I haven't 3-putted yet any of these 2 rounds, and I made some not clutch, but clutch 5 to 7 footers when I need it, for pars and even for birdies on the par 5s when I 2-putted. So yeah, my putting is feeling good, but in general, I just Casper was good at reminding me of my big goal this week is that I want to achieve thing and not avoid thing, not be afraid of hitting a bad shot, but trying to wanted to achieving to hit good shots. And yeah, I did good today on that part.
Get caught out. Also, golf on the LPGA Tour, it's on its Asian swing at the moment. And you can see there that Ashley Buhai, our number 1 player, entered the top 20 this year for the first time in her career last week. In fact, earlier this week, at 3 under par and a share of 9th place. America's Elizabeth Sokol is well clear, 8 under par, ahead of Japan's Yuka Saso. Not a great round by Paula Rito, who's definitely in danger of missing the cut. She's all the way down at the tail end of the field. Oh, hang on. So, yeah, she's going to have to pull something back special tomorrow. She is going to make the cut in that field. On the PGA Tour, it's the Arnold Palmer Invitational. And South Africa's Christian Bezuidenhout, there you can see he's 1 over par through 10 holes. Tristan Lawrence 2 over par through 10 holes. Garrick Higo yet to tee off. the leader at the moment, just about to reach the clubhouse, actually, possibly set a clubhouse lead. Adam Schenk in a share of the lead at the moment on 5 under par. But there's Jordan Spieth, one of the people lurking. And the form player, Scotty Scheffler, at 4 under par as well. Also on the PGA Tour, there is it's the Puerto Rico Open. Do you think you could open it up for me now? Thank you. That's not being kind. And there's a couple of players playing at the Puerto Rican Open, and that's being led by Cameron Young. Christian Bezuidenhout there is 1 under after 8 holes. Tristan Lawrence 2 over par. Oh no, I'm getting very confused here, aren't I? Eric van Rooyen 1 over par in that Puerto Rico Open, and MJ Defoe yet to tee off. Max Greevy at 6 under, the leader there. And finally, to wrap things up for the Forever Sports, the daily wrap, we are going to talk about Lance Stroll, because he is back in action this week and will be racing in the opening round of the Formula One Grand Prix season. Now, he had a bicycle accident a couple of weeks ago, and he was in doubt for the race because of the wrist injury he sustained in a cycling accident. Apparently, he got some sort of minor fracture, and then he had some minor surgery, and he's been driving the simulator. So the team says, no, that's fine. We're going to have him, in the race. Now, bear in mind, he missed the testing, and instead of Lance Stroll doing the testing, it was Filip Drugovich who drove in last week's test. He was on standby to replace Stroll this weekend, but now Stroll's back. But he's going to be sticking around just in case Stroll can't drive. Now, the team says Stroll's been doing fine driving the simulator, but of course, when you're actually experiencing the G-forces, I don't know how much of the G-forces you get in those simulators, and the actual real bumps of a track, there may be too much pain for Stroll to continue driving. And is he going to be able to do the whole race? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that I think is where we'll leave it for the daily wrap for this Thursday. Won't be talking about Test match cricket tomorrow. Hopefully get you some of today's press conference after the Proteas wrapped up that great victory against the West Indies. No, not a great victory, a good victory. I think there's still definitely work to be done, and perhaps questions to be asked and then subsequently answered, I guess, by the coaching team about who plays in the match at the Wanderers, after some standout performances by the bowlers and, one batter in particular, Aiden Markram, but, questions around some of the other players as well. Anyway, thank you very much for that, and hope to talk to you tomorrow.